I could literally give you the strategies on how to book more clients. I could give you the blueprint on how to make 10, 20K per month in your business. I could tell you exactly what to say in your content to help you get more leads. I could tell you you're undercharging for your work and you need to double your prices. I could hand you an email template on exactly what to say in a pitch email to a brand. But you won't be able to replicate any of these results or take on my strategic advice until you do this one thing. And that is uncovering and shifting the limiting beliefs that are holding you back from making all those things a reality. I want you to think about this. If you came to me and you were like, Amanda, this is my work. I'm currently charging $1,000 for 10 photos. I kind of feel like I'm undercharging a bit. What do you think I should charge? And I respond with, well, I know there are brands out there who would pay $3,000 for 10 photos, and your work is really good. So I think you should start charging $3,000. I'm basically saying in this scenario to triple your prices. For most people, this is likely going to completely dysregulate your nervous system by making such a massive jump in your rates. If I said to you right now, whatever your rate is, triple it on your next project. What thoughts or reactions come up for you when I say that? If you'd love to share that, drop it in the comments. We can have a conversation about it. But what are you saying to yourself right now in your head? Maybe your immediate reaction is, Amanda, you're insane. I can't triple my rates. No one will buy from me. Or maybe you're thinking, triple my rates? Well, I'm not good enough to charge that yet. For most people, there's resistance. You don't actually believe it's possible that you could literally triple your rates overnight, that brands would actually pay you triple your current amount. However, I'm about to flip this on its head for you and tell you about one of my coaching clients who literally tripled her rates overnight for the same client who then accepted her new rate without hesitation. Now, this product photographer was part of one of my group coaching containers last year, and she was charging a total of $2,500 for a 3-month retainer for a considerable amount of assets. I'm talking over 100 photos over the span of 3 months. I can safely say, probably for any product photographer, this is a significantly low rate. So we reworked both the strategy and mindset around her pricing. And her work is premium. It is very high quality. And so for her next project with that brand, she quoted them $7,000 for just one full day shoot. So she went from charging $2,500 for 3 months to $7K for one full day. And so when you look at those numbers, it would have taken her 9 months to make the same amount for servicing one client. And then she proceeded to tell me she charged $23K for a 3-day shoot. This all happened within 1 to 2 months of working together. Now, these numbers and these results come as a result of working on 2 things. So firstly, we structured the way she went about pricing her projects using my pricing calculator and pricing training. And she said when she used the pricing calculator, she actually realized how much she was undercharging and that she really did let her imposter syndrome take over her pricing. This is why people find it so hard to charge higher rates, because they let imposter syndrome get in the way. And so therefore, the other part to this was helping her move past the imposter syndrome and actually getting her to believe that her work was worth a much higher price. This is what happens when you have a mentor in your corner. They help you step into your power, and that is why big results like this happen really quickly. Because sometimes all it takes is for someone outside of you to see your power and your worth, for you to see it yourself and actually step into it. And typically, this is why you can't have the strategy side of things without the mindset work to support that next level. Overall, my client tripled her prices overnight, and her mindset was at the tipping point where she just needed a little tweak to get her over the line and believe something different about the value of her work and, most importantly, herself. Now, a common thing that I get asked from a lot of photographers is, Amanda, is there anything else I can do to achieve XYZ? What else can I do to call in high budget brands? What else can I do to bring in more leads? What else can I do to take on less but bigger projects because I want to have more lifestyle freedom? What else can I do? And they ask me this like they're expecting me to give them another strategy. What else can you give me? When you reach a certain point in your business, it's not always about having another strategy. And the thing that I hear from these people in response to those questions that they've asked me is they come to the conclusion of, oh, maybe I just need to improve my work more before I increase my prices, or before I can call in high budget clients or bigger brands. And the photographers who say this already produce high quality premium work. But the actual thing that's holding you back from achieving all those things is some sort of limiting belief. A limiting belief is just that. It limits you. It limits what you believe you can achieve. It limits what you believe you're capable of because of some habitual subconscious pattern that you continue to operate from that is no longer serving you at your current level. This is exactly why people feel stuck in business, because they're operating from an old identity where they've been conditioned over time to operate and think a certain way. And so the only way forward is to release these old patterns and ways of thinking if you want to move into a new identity. So for example, if you want to go from 2K projects to 10K projects, that is a new identity that you have to shift into. But here's the thing. Many people don't learn how to do this. Many people aren't even aware of some of the limiting beliefs that are holding them back until they actually start properly doing the inner work to uncover what is getting in their way. I experienced this myself when I had the goal of wanting to shoot in a larger studio. I've always lived in apartments. I still live in a 2-bedroom apartment. And I tell you what, shooting in a small second bedroom can be really frustrating. And it does limit you creatively. I had this dream of being able to one day shoot in a large professional photography studio. And my thought pattern was along the lines of, oh, I need a whole year to work up to this to be able to charge extra fees for studio hire. This was my main block because I believed that clients wouldn't pay an extra $700 to $1,200 on top of what I was already charging just so I could shoot in a larger studio. My belief was, well, why would they choose me if they can just go to somebody else who doesn't charge a studio fee? Legit, that's what I thought. I didn't believe it was possible. And my thought pattern was this: oh, over time, I'll just add on more money gradually to my projects and one day I'll be able to afford to shoot in a larger studio. I literally thought it was going to take me a whole year to do this. It took me a couple of months. Our best friends here in Brisbane are also product photographers and videographers, and they opened their own studio. And I remember walking into that place for the first time and feeling what it was like to shoot there and just how exciting it would be. And I went in a couple times to do a few personal projects, and soon enough, started to feel normal to shoot there. I thought, there's no freaking way I could go back to shoot in my second bedroom now that I've had a taste of this. Let's fucking make it happen. And so we started to tack on studio fees to our invoices. And not one client has pushed back on having to pay studio fees. As a result, our work has substantially increased in quality. We're taken more seriously because of the brand perception we now have. And honestly, when you have a large space to shoot in, a range of high quality equipment and props at your disposal, it does open up a lot more creative opportunities for your clients. And I know that shooting in a larger studio space is a massive goal for so many product photographers. In my last group coaching round I ran, all 4 of my photography clients had this as their goal. And majority of them thought like me, that it just wasn't possible for them right now. So we worked on it. One of my clients started shooting in a studio within 1 month of working together. She tacked on the studio fee to her invoice, the client paid it, and now she shoots in a studio. And that is her new normal. The things you believe are not possible right now for you actually are. You don't need to wait another year. What you need is to have your beliefs challenged by someone who's already done what you want to do. That will get you where you want to be faster than anything else. And this is all part of doing the inner work. So what do I mean by doing the inner work? It means evaluating yourself on the deepest level on a consistent basis. It means confronting why things trigger you, understanding and identifying what is actually blocking you at a subconscious level. Now, obviously part of building a business as a freelancer is A, you need good creative skills, so you need to be constantly mastering your craft. And B, you need to become a good business owner. And a huge part of running a business so you can actually get clients is working on your visibility. For a lot of creatives I speak with, there are a lot of blocks around becoming visible. And often these blocks relate to fear of judgment, fear of success, fears around selling your services, and all of these fears are governed by the stories you adopted as your truth over time. Let me give you an example. In one of my private coaching containers, my client and I were working on getting her to produce a piece of authority content. Now, authority content is a type of content that is going to attract higher quality leads to your business because you're positioning yourself as the go-to in your industry. This is where you communicate, you understand the problems that your ideal client is experiencing, and you position your service as the solution, as someone who is credible and trustworthy, someone who is very confident in the value and impact their service can provide. So firstly, I had her identify a key problem that her ideal client experienced. Now, in the first draft she sent me of her reel, she was still watering down her services. The piece of content was not impactful and it didn't position her as an authority. So I gave her an example on how to structure her messaging so that it really positioned her as an authority. I asked her, how does this feel to you? Because when you start stepping into your authority and actually speaking from a place of pure confidence in what you're selling, it doesn't quite feel natural at first, and it can feel very uncomfortable to communicate your services and value in this way. She said the thought of her saying this made her feel icky, and that there was a massive block that came up around her sounding like she was selling, that she felt like the client would be doing her a favor by paying her. Whereas this kind of business transaction is a mutually beneficial relationship. This is why a lot of creatives struggle to land consistent high-paying projects, because they're afraid to sell and they're not consistently stepping into their authority. So I asked her, what do you think of other people who sell on social media? And her answer uncovered a huge part that was contributing to the block she was experiencing around selling. And it all came down to certain beliefs she held. And these beliefs are usually made up of years of conditioning that cause us to believe a certain story around a topic that isn't true for our current state and isn't true for where we want to go. So the first step is awareness. Once you're aware of what beliefs and stories that are getting in your way, you can then proceed to take action. She went away and rewrote the script I gave her in her own tone of voice, while still keeping the pieces that positioned her as an authority. But this is just an example of what I mean when I say I can literally hand you a script or a blueprint to achieve a certain thing, but you won't be able to replicate it unless you identify and work through the limiting beliefs that are blocking you from even taking the action to do that thing. Regardless of what level of business you're at, limiting beliefs come up all the time. Because with every new level you reach, there are a new set of beliefs and stories that come up that you need to remove. Because the same person who makes 5K a month in their business is not the same person who makes 20K plus a month. What got you here won't get you here. And majority of the time when you're at a certain level of success, it has very little to do with strategy and a lot to do with how your mind operates. And a person who has reached a certain level of success will tell you that. And so if you want to see more success, whatever that definition means to you, you will shift into that next level when you shift your ways of thinking. The mind is an incredibly powerful medium, and it's your mind that will be the reason you either stay where you are or why you continue to get everything you want in life. Now, if you love this video and you're enjoying these videos on mindset, let me know in the comments below and maybe what you'd love to see next. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.